Turn now to one community in Ohio, which is now the center of a growing national debate about civil rights, hate speech, and the Second Amendment. NBC News correspondent and NBC News Now daily anchor Morgan Radford visited the town of Lincoln Heights, where residents have formed an armed community defense group in the wake of a neo-Nazi rally.
Police officers or soldiers.
We're business owners, we're fathers, we're sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers.
First African-American community above the Mason-Dixon line of establishment.
Safety and Watch Group spokesperson Durrance Daniels says the police did not do enough, which was more chilling because the town was founded in the 1920s as a safe haven for black residents.
Lincoln Heights is our home. If somebody broke into your home, you call the police, and the police says, you know, if they do it again, we haven't broken any law, so we're just going to allow them to break into your home again. What would you do?
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a black man in my community than I have right now.
The mayor of Evendale, which oversees the police force that responded that day, said in a statement to NBC News, "Our emphasis on de-escalation and public safety resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved." But residents here say they can't afford to wait. Every day, the Safety and Watch Group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
While many locals do support the security group, some, like business owner Eric Ruffin, say they wish the group wasn't needed.
We don't want to become what we hate. You know, we don't want to become a group of people that walk around feeling like we have a reason in America to have to protect ourselves.
And this community
Stand up.
Stand up.
is not backing down.
So y'all remember in Lincoln Heights when the neo-Nazi people came and the black people ran them off? Okay, well now there's like black people who came together and they're patrolling the streets, walking children to school from home, you know, just watching out for their community. So they're being interviewed now, and the lady want to know why they doing this, and one of the questions was, why do you guys have on a mask? So you asking these people why they got on a mask when they trying to protect their neighborhood, but y'all let the neo-Nazis out there wear their mask and don't ask them no goddamn questions at all, like. And the man was like, we ain't hiding ourselves from the community. Like, we're protecting our families. Okay, because the neo-Nazis came, and then, like, 2 weeks later, people from the KKK came. And the first incident, the neo-Nazis, when they ran them off, like, children was just being released from school. And police claimed, like, they didn't do anything. Like, it wasn't enough for them to arrest them, blah, blah, blah. Okay. But now you got these black men and women out patrolling these streets because this is a black community that was founded in the 1920s, I think the man said, for a safe haven for black people to go. So like y'all coming to a black neighborhood doing all this, but then asking them why they got on the mask and why they doing this, blah, blah, blah. Like they just doing it just because it's unprovoked. Like, be for real. And then the policeman, of course, they don't find nothing wrong. And then the higher up policeman was like, they found a way to de-escalate it without harming anybody. Like, it's so stupid that you got to go this far to protect yourselves because the police won't do it for you. And of course the police aren't going to do anything because them and the Nazis go hand in hand. Like we're brothers. Like, of course nothing's going to happen to them. But what a district attorney is now looking into the matter more because they're saying that like this was a crime, which I mean, you guys went out your way, drove all the way to a black community. That's just like the white man who drove to the goddamn food store in the black neighborhood and shot it up. And then to find out that this man thought that the black people was getting, what was it, 500,000 from the government? You don't have any black friends, because any Negro could have told you that the government ain't giving us no type of money. Like, but that was your reason for going and shooting up? Okay, this is so off topic. But anyways, like, kudos to y'all for standing up for y'all community and doing what the cops won't do. Because they walking around like they in all black. They got their mask on and you can see their eyes and like their nose. They got their rifles and whatever other guns. It's women there. Like, it takes all that for somebody to be safe when these people don't bother nobody. Okay. All right. America, boy.
Good morning, Africans and black people. I hope you're faring well where you are. So, it's an early morning here in Africa, Kenya, Nairobi. Yeah, so I found a video that was shared to me by some of one of my followers, you know. This video is kind of hopeful, you know, to the situations, all that situation that has been happening in the United States of America. You know, black people have now decided to take matters onto their own hands. And for those Africans who don't know, we have 54 states in the United States of America. And some of these states are known to be very, very racist towards black people. And now black people have decided to take matters into their own hands because the US government is really not working towards, you know, ending racism. It's not working towards bringing peace to the countries, or rather to the black people, you know. It is the people who are supposed to bring peace that are actually causing problems. And for this reason, black people started to form their own groups. First of all, we saw the emergence of Black Lives Matter. It evolved to come something like a sub-military, a minor form of military group, you know. So there's this group in Ohio. Ohio is one of the states in the United States of America that's known to be having high rates of racism towards black people. And so they've formed a group and they feel it is justifiable for them to form this group. Now, without going further, I want us to watch this video. I shall get back with deep analysis. Let's dive in.
I'm working in a newer place today. I've never worked in this place, and it's a very small place in a southern county in Ohio, and there really aren't any black people here. I get nervous when I work in places like this because you just never know how people were raised and what they're gonna say, like what's gonna come out of their mouth. Like, I've heard some of the most off-the-wall things, and today is no different. It just isn't no different. I had someone sit in the lobby and talk to me for an hour about Trump and how much they hated Trump, which, I mean, it could have went completely the other way, so I'll take it. Him being indicted, all these things. Also, they felt the need to tell me that they like black people. I don't know if you know, I just want to make sure you know I like black people. I have a black son-in-law. And I don't know if it makes me any less uncomfortable hearing these things. Please don't point out that I'm black. Please don't point it out.
There just on Tuesday What did the residents tell you about what's going on?
Yeah, I was there just this week. John, it was fascinating because what's interesting is that this town was founded during the Great Migration back in the 20s as a refuge for black citizens, which is why it was especially painful when neo-Nazis suddenly appeared in this 3,000-person majority black town. But they decided to fight back, taking up arms and patrolling their own streets. Now they're at the center of a much larger debate about protection and free speech and who gets it.
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
We're business owners, your fathers, your sons, daughters.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas, and hurling racial slurs, just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing. Weeks later, the KKK came with these flyers.
First African-American community above the Mason-Dixon line of staff.
Safety and Watch Group spokesperson Durrance Daniels says the police did not do enough, which was more chilling because the town was founded in the 1920s as a safe haven for black residents.
Lincoln Heights is our home. If somebody broke into your home, you call the police, and the police says, you know, if they do it again, we haven't broken any law, so we're just going to allow them to break into your home again. What would you do?
Are you worried at all that having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger?
I'll answer that by saying I've never felt safer as a black man in my community than I have right now.
The mayor of Evendale, which oversees the police force that responded that day, said in a statement to NBC News, "Our emphasis on de-escalation and public safety resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved." But residents here say they can't afford to wait. Every day, the Safety and Watch Group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
While many locals do support the security group, some, like business owner Eric Ruffin, say they wish the group wasn't needed.
We don't want to become what we hate. You know, we don't want to become a group of people that walk around feeling like we have a reason in America to have to protect ourselves.
And this community
Stand up.
Stand up.
is not backing down.
We contacted the mayor of Evendale's office, and they say that prosecutors are looking at body camera footage of the neo-Nazi rally to see if any criminal charges could be filed. But meantime, the Hamilton County Sheriff is also calling on state lawmakers to pass legislation making it a crime to wear a mask with the purpose of intimidation while open carrying, guys.
So, Morgan, let me ask you, one of the people you interviewed there, a young man, said he's never felt safer in his community than he does now. So this could have an impact nationwide, things like this. I mean, there is a contagion factor in safety. People always seek it. What did the mayor or anybody that you spoke to think about the contagion factor?
Durrance, I don't want to speak for him, but after my conversation with him, I feel like I could confidently say he would say the contagion factor has already happened. Because when I asked, is this a reaction to a local moment or a national movement? And he said, look at January 6th. He said, you already have people felt emboldened to come here locally because of what they saw nationally. If you can hang from the building of the hallowed halls of the Capitol and then be pardoned, not be prosecuted, why don't you think you can come to a small village of African Americans, only 3,000 people?
Morgan, does the group have any real authority? But as long as they stay within the confines of the law, they should be okay.
It's a great question. You know, I asked that basically, are you stopping cars when they come in because you think someone looks suspicious? Is that, you know, profiling in its own sort of way? And they said, no. We are patently aware of what our rights are and what our limitations are. They said, we're not officers. What we do is we are trying to cooperate with the police department. So if we see suspicious activity, because remember the KKK came back with flyers just after this rally. So they're saying this is more of a defensive posture to deter people from entering our community and showing them by virtue of our masks, by virtue of our guns, that you can't come here and we're not going to take this punchline down.
All right, important story, fascinating. NBC News correspondent and NBC News Now daily anchor Morgan Radford. Morgan, thank you. Good to see you.
So it is vigilante. Do you think this is a vigilante law where now people decide to put laws into their own hands? People have decided that yeah, we are going to have justice from the society other than the government, you know. Sometimes if that which you believe or that which you entrust with the responsibility of bringing peace does not, it is always commendable. It is always the right thing sometimes to preserve peace and to preserve lives by working towards achieving that, you know. It doesn't have to be the government sometimes, because I'm trying to understand why they're doing this, and they have a good reason for that, you know. They are telling us that peace in the United States is close to impossible, you know. So they are coming forth and they are rebelling, and they are saying, oh, we are doing this because you, in as much as white people are citizens of the United States of America, black people are as well, you know. And if there's anyone who should claim the true citizenship of the USA, if racism was based on citizenship or birthrights or naturalization, I believe neither blacks nor white people should be in that country. The only people who should be there are the Red Indians, because the white people came all the way from Europe. Trump himself came all the way from Germany, you see. So if racism was based on that, but we get that racism is not based on that. Racism is based on the structure of the US government itself. It's a structural racism, you know. It's a structure that has been embedded even in the government itself. We might argue that not all white people are racist. We might argue that not all black people are victims of racism. Might be true, but on the minor levels, you know. And minorities does not make the case. The minority does not make the rule of law, you know. So I look back and I see structural individual racism, in fact, operates or thrives on the basis that was laid by the structural racism. A white person will find it okay to call the police on a black person who just moved in the neighborhood. They'll call on a black person, kids who are just swimming, you know, and a cop, hearing it's a black person, would come. Now try and reverse the situation. If a black person was to call a cop on the basis of the same basis, I don't believe a cop will come, and maybe they'll come. That is, if they come, they'll say, oh, this and that. No, nobody will get arrested. If it's a black person, they'll get arrested. So individual racism has been done by that white person who calls them, you know. But now the police have acted, you see. It's now not an individual thing. The system itself has come and has taken control, you know. Now it's the government that is dealing with this individual, not that specific individual who called the police. And it's everywhere. The police brutality, George Floyd, those kids who are always shot, those drivers who are always shot, you know. So many black people have lost their lives in the hands of structural racism that exists in the USA. And, you know, I believe these people are justified for them to form this. And we hope that they are here to bring peace and also not being against, not being racist towards white people, because sometimes reverse racism is true, but again, in the minor levels, and minority does not make the rule of law. Yeah. This is my thought. This is my verdict upon this. I believe if they act within the constraints of morality, everything shall be fine. If they act under the constraints of legal morality, moral law, and if they act on the basis of divine law, I believe everything shall be fine. And what can we say? This is the right time for us to use the proverb, or the saying, if you like, the end justifies the means. As long as we achieve the peace that we want, it is okay. It is okay for black people. Individual racism, remember, exists because of structural racism. So if we dismantle the structure itself, the individual racism won't exist. This is EFK Original Documentaries. If you like what I do, kindly subscribe.